Canada and the United States share one of the most interconnected bilateral relationships in the world, built over decades of trade, security cooperation, and cultural exchange. Each country is the other's largest trading partner, with deeply linked supply chains in key sectors such as energy, manufacturing, and aerospace. Under the USMCA trade agreement, most goods and services cross the border freely, supporting jobs and economic growth in both nations. Recently, since the start of President Trump's second term, US trade policies, especially the imposition of tariffs on select Canadian exports, have heightened political tensions. Adding fuel to the fire, Trump has repeatedly suggested that Canada could become the 51st state, offering tariff removal and defense incentives in return. These remarks triggered a strong backlash in Canada, sparking nationwide campaigns, boycotts of US goods, reduced cross-border travel, and visible displays of national pride. In response to the boycott, US Ambassador to Canada Pete Hora appeared on Jasmine Lane's YouTube channel, defending aspects of the Trump administration's approach while acknowledging the growing strain and misunderstandings. He clarified that Trump had not placed a blanket 10% or 15% tariff on all Canadian goods, but had instead imposed a 35% tariff on certain products outside the USMCA deal. While he presented this as a sign of restraint, the reality remains that Canada has faced significant punitive measures. He also admitted that Canada has been deprioritized in Trump's trade agenda, with the administration first focusing on deals with the EU, Japan, the UK, and South Korea, a clear departure from historical norms where Canada often ranked at the top of Washington's list. The ambassador pointed to political rhetoric and mutual perceptions as added complications, claiming that Trump has not received the same level of respect from Canadian officials and media. He nonetheless stressed the enduring economic and defense partnership, calling it beneficial for both countries. However, he expressed confusion over the intensity of Canadian public anger toward Trump, citing product bans and a growing sentiment against traveling to the US. Energy, he argued, remains a prime example of mutual gain. Canada supplies abundant energy southward, profits from it, and the US processes it. Yet political narratives in Canada encouraging reduced US travel and spending have started to overshadow these economic benefits. Statistics Canada data show that Canadian return trips from the US dropped sharply year over year in June and July, about 1/3 for car travel and 1/5 to 1/4 for air travel, marking 7 straight months of declines. Given that Canadians are historically the largest international visitor group to the US, this trend directly impacts American tourism revenues, especially in states like Florida, which normally welcomes 3.3–3.4 million Canadians annually during peak winter seasons. While Florida's overall tourism remains strong, the sustained drop in Canadian visitors in 2025 is pressuring hospitality revenues in local markets. Industry figures from the US National Travel and Tourism Office highlight the stakes. In 2024, over 10.5 million Canadians visited the US by land and air. If the current pattern of double-digit percentage declines holds through 2025, the result could be billions in lost spending across hotels, restaurants, retail, attractions, and domestic transportation. Beyond tourism, Canadian exports to the US have begun to fall, while shipments to other markets surge. In May, exports to the US dropped 0.9, the fourth straight monthly decline, reducing the US share of Canada's total exports from a 2024 average of 75.9% to 68.3%. Exports to non-US markets rose a record 5.7%. By March, the trend accelerated. Exports to the US fell 6.6%, almost offset by a 24.8% jump to other countries. In May, non-US exports were up 14.7% year over year, while US-bound exports stayed weak. June trade data showed some stabilization, with a 3.1% month-over-month increase in exports to the US, though levels remain 12.5% lower than in June 2024. From May 2024 to May 2025, Canada's export share dropped from 78% to 68%, with significant gains to destinations like the UK, EU, Australia, Indonesia, and Japan. Gold exports to the UK alone skyrocketed for 7.3. Even so, experts cautioned that due to deeply integrated supply chains, the US remains difficult to replace as a trade partner. Thank you for watching. As an independent channel, we rely on your support to continue producing in-depth coverage. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. It really helps more people discover our work. We appreciate you being part of our community. Check out the next video we've selected for you. It's right on your screen now.